Hey up Woodlanders, welcome to the hottest days of the year in England ever since forever. All indications are saying it's going to be anything up to 40 degrees. We're in the Midlands of the UK and seems that we're going to be breaking all records. I'm not going to be a daft Englishman and sit out in the sun. We'll go and check on the hazel coppice, find out how that's doing. But what I'm going to do is take it hour by hour, because in this heat, about 11 o'clock, I'm probably going to be taking some shade and cover. It's really nice in the woodland when it's this sort of weather, because you get that natural cooling sensation from the transpiration of the leaves. They create an updraft in a way, where the leaves transpire water out of them. But even then, it's still going to be blisteringly red hot, so I certainly won't be out in the full bore sunshine. This is that last minute hazel coppice we did. This is some of the regrowth look on there. It's not doing too bad really. I suppose we're up to waist height, about 2'6" on some of them. Some of them are a little bit smaller. But all in all, they're not doing too bad. There is some muntjac damage. Like there, look. You can see where it's nipped the top of that one off. That sweet chestnut, look, I coppiced and that's been eaten. The leaves have been eaten, look. All the leaves down there have been eaten. So that's the muntjac. And there's a chap called Ben Law. He's quite a famous chap who does roundwood timber framing, and he was made famous by a Channel 4 programme called Grand Designs, and he built his own roundwood house in the woodland, so it becomes synonymous with Ben Law and roundwood framing. But really clever guy, and a dedicated woodsman. But he grows an awful lot of sweet chestnut, because he's down in the southeast of England, which they go fantastic chestnut down there. And he was saying that deer don't tend to bother too much with sweet chestnut. In fact, because of the tannin content and that sort of bitter taste, they don't go for it. But ironically, they'll actually leave the hazel here and go straight for the sweet chestnut. So I don't know whether we've got some hybrid muntjacs or what, but it's very frustrating. We've got another one here, look, they've nibbled off the top of that one. So they'll take out the leading shoot, and honestly, it really gets on my nerves. Let's have a look. This is our old barbecue area. I used to cook on this old fire grate. Pop that in there, give this a right good clean and a scrape, and then cook straight on that one. Just have a fire underneath and sort of wait for it to die down, so that you're cooking on hot coals. I don't do that now because I've got my little Weber, which is a great bit of kit. So I think what I'm going to do is repurpose these slabs. So we'll get those out. I want to repurpose these up more by the storage unit to create a flat area underneath the side canopies. That means then I've got more of a flatter area to store things and work under, and maybe put my bench in. So that's what I'm thinking with that. Just make things a little bit more easier. And yeah, let's do that. Man, they're heavy. Just dug these out of the clay area. First couple of panels I ever made, look, that one. And I was practicing my riving skills, and I wanted to try and come up with a design I was happy with. We were dealing with some really knotty, nasty hazel, and we still are really. There's not good hazel up here. I think we've got another 25 years where we can get some half decent hazel in the National Forest. Because the traditional hurdlers say they twist the ends, and because of the amount of knots and how thick it is, it's not impossible, but you just end up ruining so many rods. So I experimented with these, and these are held together with pins, some nails on the ends. So the end nails, they just terminate, and every other one I would put a little nail in. And these have been done about, I think, nearly 9 years. And honestly, for saying these have been totally neglected and lying on the woodland floor, in 9 years, they are very tired. That end zale's gone, look, that's rotted off. And a few of the top rails have rotted off. But it's been on the floor. And this one that hasn't been on the floor, it's doing alright really. It's not a bad little panel. I mean, it's a bit rickety now, but after 9 years of complete and utter neglect, I suppose what I'm trying to say is, people sometimes ask me about longevity of the panels, and I say about between 8 to 10 years without treatment. But if you kept them off the floor, if you can keep the grass off them, I think you're looking at least 10 years. And if you decide to put a little bit of linseed oil on it, I reckon you get at least 12, 13 years out of it, probably even 15 years. And all in all, a traditional product that's come from a local area, 15 years. I think your average fence panel that's come from Latvia, you probably only get 15 years out of that as well. I like the hazel panel. I guess I'm biased. This area used to be a work zone, so I used to have my riving post just here. I used to have a cleaving brake just here. That rotted away, so that's gone now. A tarpaulin up here in the trees as well, sort of over the pole that went into the trees. Over time, things started to fall apart, and that's why I built the barn over that aside. So I've got somewhere under cover to work in the winter when I'm doing my hazel panels. Otherwise it meant that some days I had to give up, because it was just, the ground was like mush because it was so wet. Your rods are absolutely soaked and you've got nowhere dry to work, and being over here and having the charcoal barrels over there just meant I was doing lots of travelling about. So gradually over the years managed to get a more efficient system. These posts with these rails on, I built this, it's only a simple thing, but I built it with a view to having a dead flat surface, because I used to make a lot of ash gate hurdles, and what I'd do is I use it almost like a bench so that I could nail the hurdle together and then clench the nails over on the back. And I don't tend to make anything over here now, so what I'm going to do, this area here is going to be my log store, and so I'm going to take this down. Those pallets will get used for the logs. What you're sitting on, this is the logs that we extracted from my sister. So this log stack, I think this is a pretty good spot for a top end log stack. Quite like that being there, it's very handy. So with this and that there, gradually we seem to be getting a slightly better setup. Waste not, want not. Right, it's getting on towards 11 o'clock and the heat out into the sun is pretty intense. It's like being in some tropical place. And I think I'm going to call it a day at the Woodland. I've got to order some new clothes because you may have noticed my t-shirts are in a bit of a state. So I've got to order some new t-shirts, a new belt, because it's the belt, I'll just give you a sneak peek. It's the belt that does it. So these belts are great. It's like a quick release buckle belt. Yeah, well, let me belly out. There you go, look. And quick release, and of course the t-shirt catches on all these edges, and of course you lift some off and you get holes in it. And then I've got to order some new gloves because I'm only on my last pair of gloves. I just look a bit of a state, to be honest. So I think it could be a little bit of paperwork, lots of drinks, and just hibernate indoors today, because there's just some days where the weather, it's not very often I have it, and I hope you get a chance to have an easy day too, because this heat is quite insane for us. So it's 37 degrees outside and it's raining. Well, what a difference a couple of days makes. So, in typical British fashion, we've gone from 39 degrees C to, I think we're now today on 15, which is 2 days later, and the heavens have opened and we've just had nothing but rain all day. So yes, no wonder the topic of the weather is such on people's lips in the British Isles. It's quite amazing. I was given some timber the other day, which I think they said was used on their conservatory. Now I thought possibly mahogany, but it's definitely not. And it's a little bit, there's a couple of bits where it's going, but they really wanted me to try and repurpose it somehow. So I think it could well be maybe a bench material. I've got a bench at home that my dad had donkeys years ago. A cast iron one, a really old fashioned bench. But I thought maybe I might make that a bit of a YouTube project, just like a restoration project. It just saves it going to landfill. Then the other job I've got to go and get done is the lady wants some stakes for a garden. I've got some little bits of chestnut down the bottom end from the coppice, so I'm going to get those up. It's raining, can't believe it. So I dive for cover on Tuesday because it's blistering hot, and today I'm diving for cover because I'm getting rather wet. Didn't really want to get soaked, but it seems I'm committed now. Absolutely soaked. Have you ever questioned the path you're on? I'm questioning mine today. This was a phone call I had last week. Lady wanted some stakes for a job. And initially I said to her, no, I've actually got nothing left, you know, it's all gone through the machine. But she was really keen to use something local and sustainable, and I said a quid each. So she wants 12, so it's cost me, so I'm getting 12 quid. I've had to fell them, and I've just had to carry them up from the bottom end, which has took me best part 3/4 of an hour. I've had to find them and sort through them. Now I've got to cross cut them to length and put them on the van and then take them home for 12 quid. And I'm like, why on earth did I agree to do that? I wanted to help her to have something out of the coppice rather than going to B&Q and getting a machine round stake. So of course I've done it. I've got soaked, my feet are absolutely soaked. I can feel the squishing in my toes because my old boots, my old Hakes boots are letting in water now and the soles have split, so I've got to, maybe that's where I should put the £12 for a new pair of boots. Can coppice ever make any money? So I'm questioning the path I'm on, that's why. Anyway, sorry to complain to you. It was just on a bit of a Mardy rant this afternoon. And I've not really done anything for myself other than a couple of little tidying up jobs. And I'm like, what on earth went wrong? First world problems, eh? Tomorrow is more log splitting action. A little bit of a repeat of last week really. Just to try and get all the log splitting done. Got to try and get 8 done again if I can. That should be just about all of our winter's fuel supply. See you in the morning, bright and early. charcoal ready for later. Raining again. I'm getting soaked here. Right, let's get this trailer off. Sneak it round the corner. I don't know why I took you off there. Could have stayed on, couldn't you? I've not shown you this little contraption before, have I? This is my little 6-ton log splitter I had from Kilworth. It is a Rosselli Eco 96, and what they did, what Kilworth did, that's them. I had this for my 2-wheel tractor, and a little 2-wheel tractor is one of those, looks like a giant rotavator, and they had it so it had a shaft that come out of here that attached to the PTO shaft of a 2-wheel tractor. And yeah, I sold all the 2-wheeler stuff because I couldn't use it up the Woodland because it just gets stuck. So I bought 4-wheel drive tractors, and then they modified it with put a frame on, put a 3-point linkage on. They put a remote PTO hydraulic pump on it, and now just hitch up, pop the hydraulic pump on it, put it on just over tick over, and it works an absolute treat. Just absolutely amazing bit of kit. I'll show you it working a bit more close up this week. Anyway, I'll go and get set up, get this attached. That's it. We have managed 4, 8, 12, oh no, 16 baskets and a trailer full, which is up there. I've got to hitch that up yet. That's not bad at all, is it, that? 16 baskets of logs. Anyway, I'm going to pack this away, so I'll take the log splitter off, reattach the trailer hitch, put the trailer on, get home, unload the trailer, and of course it's Friday. So just want to say thanks again for watching another woodlog this week. A bit of a mixed week, hasn't it, really? Blistering red hot, and then some steady rain at the end of the week. I hope you have a great weekend, and if you're able to, try and go out and enjoy some woodlands this week, and I will see you on the next woodlog. See you in a bit. Seeing this, look, some of the first blackberries, look at that. Oh man, that's amazing. And I don't know whether this or wives' tale is true, but if you get the one here, this one's not developed, but if you get the terminal one, they say that is the absolute best. But I am just loving this. I absolutely love blackberries. love it. I mean, that's gone a bit scabby, but I'll still eat it. They're amazing. And they've got a right good zing to them as well.